Hello there, I'm Nathalia Melo, your Unfiltered Fit BFF. Mom of two turned CEO of a fitness empire. Someone who truly understands the struggles of trying to stay fit, sane, and sexy, all while juggling work, life, and motherhood. And this is the Unfiltered Fit Life podcast. Follow along wherever you're listening and join me weekly as I help busy working moms just like you simplify your fitness journey so you can lose fat, regain your confidence, and feel sexy AF. It's time to stop living in the what ifs and hiding from the cameras. It's time to regain control over your body, feel sexy naked, and wear a bikini confidently. People already see you as a super confident woman, but it's time for you to feel the same way too. Come on, let's go. Hello there, fam. Welcome to another episode of the Unfiltered Fit Life podcast. I am Nathalia Melo, your host, and today I have an incredible guest who has been like just an absolute joy to work with. And I have an interesting story to tell you, by the way, Sandraliz, in a second. But before we get started, I would love for you to introduce yourself to the listeners, your name, where you're from, married, do you work, all of that. That way people can learn more about you.
Okay, so my name is Sandraliz. I actually, a long time ago, 47 years ago, I was born in Germany on a military base. My parents are both Puerto Rican, so they get married at 18. Super young, at 18, moving to Germany, ended up in California, where I was basically raised. I was raised in a small town outside of Los Angeles, so I got the LA, California, typical vibes and everything that goes along with it. Met my husband at 20, and we got married 6 months later. And Friday's our anniversary, 27 years that we've been together.
How exciting. I love it. And you work, right? You work and you have a son.
Yes, I do. I'm a police dispatcher. I've been doing that for over 20 years now. So I take the 911 calls and tell the cops where to go, which is my favorite thing to do. And then, like I said, I have a 17-year-old son who's a senior this year. And I'm so very happy. So everything's coming together.
I love that. Okay. I love it. That's a very good background. And now you are in Florida, no longer in California. You're in Florida now, right?
Correct. West Palm Beach.
Cool. Awesome. So Sandraliz, the thing that I was going to say is that I remember our chat on the DM before we got on the call, because I remember that you were like almost petrified of like trying something different. You were like, no, but I've been doing keto and I've been doing this. And, and whenever I was like, no, but like there are different ways of doing it. I could tell that you wanted help, but you were horrified of that, like deviating a little bit off the things that you had been doing. Is that a fair assessment?
It's very fair to say that because everything I was doing was complicated. Like I did keto, I did carb cycling, I did fasting, like with all these rules and everything. And it's like, well, in talking to you, I'm like, it's simple and I could understand it. And is this really going to work? Is this something I'm going to fail at again? Like I was just like, I've been through so much over the years, and it's like, I failed. I'm like, this is going to be another one, but why not? Was my attitude.
Yeah. And I remember in our conversation that you was actually spaced out. We talked and then you're like, oh no, I'm going to try this other thing. And then you tried the other thing. And then we talked after that and you're like, oh no. I think this one is the one. And then you was, I think that time, the keto. And then we talked again a little bit after that. And so let me ask you this, why did you reach out to me? Why did you agree to have a conversation? What were you struggling with whenever we first spoke?
So at that point in my mind, I had tried every diet that was out there. And I had tried a lot of trainers from online. You see them on Instagram and you buy the program and they give you, now that I know, a generic diet program like everybody else. And then they give you crazy exercises to do that you're like doing gymnastics to do a deadlift. And then now it's like, well, I get something and it's like, well, I had a lot of shame around not doing it right or not doing enough. And then when you and I talked, you're like, no, we need to be consistent. This is what's possible. And you took an interest in teaching me. Like, it's not like, here, take this, it's going to work. And if it doesn't work, okay. My interest in this is like, well, I'm going to learn something. I'm going to take something away from it. And it was very open, like the dialogue. I felt I'm a very private person, and people who know me know that I don't speak about myself. I keep everything internal. So I felt comfortable to, hey, I'm going to open up. This is what I have going on. And you were like, all right, let's work with this. This is what I can do. This is what we cannot do. This is what we can do. And you need to decide if you're going to do this for yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. What were you like? What exactly were you struggling with? Like, what was the it moment that kind of made you like realize that something had to change? Because obviously looking back at our conversations, they kind of extended for, a period of time. I don't know exactly how many months that happened, but what was the it moment? Like, what happened that made you realize that enough was enough and something had to change? What was happening?
So I live in Florida. Everybody knows it's humid and it's gross down here during the summer, but I was so self-conscious and I work in a really cold room on top of it. So as dispatching, it's like a computer room. So anyways, I would go in, but I would leave my car with my heavy winter jacket on and sweat all the way there. I was there because I didn't want anybody to see me. I've worked at this place a long time, and I started when I was really thin. I had some medical issues, inflammation, eating, and it didn't happen overnight. But then it seemed like overnight, I am walking to and from my car to work, sweating. My makeup is melting, and I'm wearing the jacket because I'm ashamed. I didn't want anybody to see me. I didn't want to sit up straight, or look down because my chins were going to show. And then as I was always hiding, I didn't want to go out with friends. And one time I walked into work and I'm like, this is not okay. Like, I feel like I'm sweaty, I'm gross, and I'm doing this because I'm hiding and I'm not happy with myself. It sucked. It was very sad. It was very sad.
Yeah. And thanks for sharing that, because I feel very like I'm talking to women all day, and I think that what you're describing is how I think a lot of women live right now, but they don't make the correlation, which then, let me ask you this. How do you think that feeling that way was impacting your life?
A couple months before, I was, how you look through your pictures on your phone, like you get memories. I noticed that a lot, if not, I would say 90% of them did not include me. They didn't include me because I would be taking the picture and I didn't want to be in it, And then it hit me like, if something ever happens to me, my son's not going to remember what I look like, as morbid as that is, because I was hiding the entire time. And meanwhile, he doesn't care. My husband loves me, but I didn't love myself and I would look in the mirror to put my makeup on and I wouldn't see myself. I would just look at myself to put the makeup on. Because I'm like, I gotta make my face look good, and trying to do all this makeup stuff and hide my wrinkles and all that, because to me, that's all I had. I could fix my face, but I wasn't taking any pictures with my family, and I wasn't going out and laughing because I didn't know what to wear. I'd freak out. Like, I don't want to go. I don't want to go. I'm wearing black and all that stuff.
So it was impacting your social life as well, which I think like social life by the sound of it, like probably, your relationship with the people around you, how you showed up at work. And I think that is why it's important to have this conversation here, because like I was saying before, I feel like a lot of women experience variations of what you're describing, but they don't make the correlation of like how a lot of people look at it as like, oh, it's just weight loss. Oh, it's just fat loss. It's not that big of a deal. Like, I just love yourself as you are, which I'm all here for it. But I feel like this pretending that I'm just going to pretend that it doesn't exist makes you almost like numb to how it is negatively impacting your life. Would that be a description of how you felt?
Absolutely, because you hear women's empowerment and be positive and love yourself at whatever size, but it wasn't for me. Like for me, I wanted to look my best. Now, I did have a realistic, I have a different body type. I'm naturally more voluptuous. I'm Latina, so I have the big butt, the big legs that go with it. So I knew I wasn't going to attain, the tall, blonde,
Slavic look,
typical.
yeah.
Yes, yeah, because I grew up in a Slavic town. That's exactly what it was. So I'm sorry, I lost track of it.
Yeah, no. I think like, but just are you there?
I'm here. Is that better?
Yeah. But we're just talking about like the negative impact that he has on you. And let me ask you this: what you mentioned there about doing other programs and things like that? How was your previous experience with other programs, and how has the Powerhouse Academy been different?
So there's really an emphasis, first of all, one on one. Like I said, I was a very private person. And then all of a sudden, I have these amazing coaches. And I say, you all are my squad. Like I have a squad. Like it's like a glam squad, too. There were so many aspects that we touched on, like, the mental health of it. Like, where did this all come from? Like, I did some self realization. It's like, gotcha. The emotional eating, got it. Got it. I had coaches that are invested in me. And you guys always ask me, what can we help you with? I could send a message to you all and say, this isn't working with my diet, or can you change this exercise because it's just not working for me? We talk about why to make sure that we're changing it for all the right reasons. I freaked out about, plateauing. So I instantly went into restrictive mode. Like, I need to cut, 300 calories at least. It's like, no, no, no. Sandraliz, that's not productive. This is what you're doing. This is what you need to do. As opposed to other programs that it's like the trainers will, like I said, they send you like crazy exercises to do, like not your basics. Like even I knew this is a crazy exercise, but I would still do it anyway. And for two of them, I actually found the actual diet program that they printed out and said that it was their own.
Wow.
So generic. Like I found it. I'm like, and I was just looking, how you have all those calculators and stuff. And literally it was the same program with two separate trainers used the
Wow.
same program. So now you guys taught me. There's so much teaching going on. Like, it's like, let's talk. You have a problem? Let's talk. Hey, let's try this. You're doing a good job. Let's build on that. And that's the difference. It's the one-on-one attention. And just, like I said, you guys are a squad behind you. It's not a piece of paper. It's not an app where you don't see the person. Just do this. No, it's fantastic.
I really appreciate that. And I love, I was creating some content yesterday, and I was trying, because I think that the way that we do things on the Powerhouse Academy, it's hard for someone sometimes who is not inside to understand, because, whenever you speak with other fitness professionals, there is a lot of stuff. Everybody's offering stuff. It's like, oh, this is stuff and this lesson, which, listen, I'm all about it. But I think that women like you who have tried all the things, you don't need more stuff. You've already out.
Yes. Yeah. It's like almost like impacted. Like it's like trash in, like it's so tied in there that you just can't put it all together or unpack it. It's just compressed.
Right.
And then you get frustrated because like, I should know this. Like, what's wrong with me? I know what to eat healthy. I know how to do this. I know how to do that, but I couldn't put the pieces together. Like it was like a puzzle. It's a puzzle putting it together. It was so much that it's too much.
Yeah, but and that's exactly it. And I think that's one of the things that surprised a lot of people. Like you were mentioning before we started, that you looked at it and you're like, oh my God, like this is too simple. Like there is no
Yeah.
And whenever you talked about the mindset, it's like whenever you just get this stuff, like more stuff, you are addressing the symptom. You're not getting to the root cause. Like you mentioned, like for you, the emotional eating and the self-sabotage and the not believing in yourself, all of that. Like you can have the most amazing training and nutrition guidance, but if we're not getting to this root cause of it all, you're going to keep on being stuck on that cycle. Would you agree with that?
100%. And that was a cycle I was stuck in, and stepping back and having less stuff, which helped me focus on more stuff. I know it's crazy, but the less I had, the more I could focus on those less things. And it was just like, oh, this is why I'm eating. Oh my God, like all these lights would go off on a regular basis. And it was almost like years of unpacking nonsense. But at least I know why I was doing it, which helps me work on it. Like, I know I'm sad and I'm eating and I'm a failure. And I'd say the worst, most horrible things to myself. But it's like, okay, got it. Now I know what I'm doing. Now I need to slowly change that, and having the tools to do that.
Yep, I love that. And I love how you have been able to recognize that, because a lot of times I feel like people have been on this cycle for so long that they don't, like it just becomes the status quo.
Yeah, it does. And I was tired. I was just so tired, Nathalia. I mean, I was just exhausted. Like I wanted to get somewhere and I was willing to put in the work, but I kept on putting in the work and it wasn't working. So then I'd start and then I'd try something new and it'd work and then be like, this is so much. I don't know. And then it'd go again. Like it's just a vicious cycle. Powerhouse gave me just enough to be able to focus on the most, just enough. And it's just here. This is all you need to focus on. This is what's important. Block everything out. And it's easier to do that to focus on myself. In the end, I learned about myself. I told you this before. I lost so much weight in my heart and in my mind that I was able to clear all that stuff up. And that's really where I was at and where I am now. And I like it.
I
I like working
love
out.
that. I love that. I love that. So what were you skeptical about or fearful about? Because, there's so much out there and you have tried all the stuff out there. So what were your fears whenever we spoke and you're like, okay, this sounds all great and stuff, Natalia, but what were you fearful about?
Being honest and being truthful with myself.
Mm-hmm.
Because now I'm interacting with somebody. I'm interacting and it's like, I got to face some hard truths, about myself. And once I take in those truths, I'm like, okay, that's how it slowly started.
Did you have any skepticism about joining? Because again, I'm not out here saying, "Oh yeah, we're the cheapest program out there," and like, if you want the quickest result, we are your people. No, like we're not. So I'm sure there was some skepticism there. What skepticisms did you have on that sense?
Yeah, it's expensive. It was expensive just for me,
Mm-hmm.
but it was like, I've never really had coaches that were all invested. So that was the first thing. Two, it's like, this is too much. It's so much stuff, which I've done before, and I failed at that too. So the skepticism is like, do I believe in myself to do this? Because I'm going to spend all this money and I'm really going to get out of the program what they're saying I'm going to get, just like the other ones. Like, is this really going to happen the way it is? So that was it. It was time. It was information. It was money, of course, budget, and all those things. All those things helped relieve all that and take it away.
So you thought that it was going to be a lot of stuff, like just another like laundry list of stuff, and you're afraid that you're going to get overwhelmed yet again
Yes.
by more stuff and not be able to follow through.
Yeah, absolutely. And that it's like, oh, I'm told I'm being coached, but I'm not really going to get help. It's like, no, I could actually reach out to somebody and say, this is what I'm struggling with, I saw the food. I'm like, yeah, whatever. That's not going to work, but I'll try it. That's not going to work. I got the workout program and I'm not dying the next day. Like I could still walk. I'm tender, I'm sore, but I'm like, no, I'm not picking myself off the floor the next day. I'm not being able to sit down for 3 days and having to hold on. Like, is it really effective? But it is. Once you start doing it, you're like, huh, there might be some, maybe they might know what they're talking about. They might know a thing or two.
I love that. I love that. And what made you decide to commit? Because I feel like your skepticism is valid. And, I don't live under a rock. I speak with people and I know the experiences people have had, with other things. And I'm not saying that every coach is shitty, but there is plenty of, less than excellent stuff out there. So I respect and I understand your skepticism. So what made you decide to commit? What was it about our conversation, about what you heard, that made you decide that this could be a possibility?
Actually, that's a really good question. And it was honesty. Honesty. You're like, this is what I expect. This is what I need from you. Are we willing to agree? The fact that you were able to be like, I'm not a miracle worker. You have to commit. I'm not your babysitter. You have to be present and you need to listen to me, in the sense that we'll work together. But what has been working, I'm the professional here. I am what they call a coach. And you know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, what is a coach? I've never had a coach, but it was your honesty and having the dialogue and saying, I'm Nathalia, and I know I could offer you this. Are you willing to move forward and us work as a team? You weren't just telling me what to do. You were sharing information and teaching. And that's what, like, they're really invested in me. Like, I'm going to pay money and they're actually going to interact with me. That's what some of my sketches, I'm like, okay, I'll see what happens in a month. But the fact that you were like invested and the fact that you could say yes or no, you empowered yourself to say, I can't help you. Not that you did tell me that, but that you had the ability to do that and you were interested. And our dialogue was literally like an interview in the sense that I knew what you needed. We were very clear on what I needed, and you laid it all on the line and said, this is everything. This is my truth. Accept it. It's up to you. And it wasn't like the hard sell afterwards either. You like let it simmer. And that helped me digest everything that we had talked about, and knowing it's like, no, they really seem like they're invested in me. And that's what helped me do it. It's like I said, I have a squad. I have people that believe in me and people that I could talk to. And I have a bunch of girlfriends that are like, yeah, girl, you could do this, and it was your honesty, the honesty and the dialogue. Like, I think you would have straight up told me, no, Sandraliz, for the X, Y, and Z. And you would tell me why. This is what we cannot work together, or we can. And to me, that shows confidence, the ability of what you can do.
I literally got goosebumps with what you're saying because one, I really appreciate, and that is something that I try to be as cognizant as humanly possible to not set expectations on something that I cannot deliver.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm glad that by what you're saying, it is what you perceived as well. I'm not going to sit here and promise, oh my God, yes, you're going to lose 30 pounds in 2 months. And, I mean, it might be that your process is a bit faster, but we're never going to, jeopardize health and your well-being and your mental and physical health just to get that result, to post it on the gram and to tell the universe that we're amazing when it is negatively impacting your health and your well-being. So I appreciate that you saw that.
I absolutely did. And that was another thing we touched on was my medical history. I have lupus, and it's something that I struggle with and continue to struggle with. And you asked questions about that. Nobody else had me questions. Like, we were getting to know each other, and you were just as interested. Okay, this is how I could help with that. And you were 100% committed to giving me the sustainability and dealing with my lupus as well. Mm-hmm. Like, it's like, this is how we're going to join it all together, and it's going to be married together. I couldn't have one without the other. And you made sure to make that very clear. Like, nope, this is full. If this is what you're looking for, not me, and that's why I've sustained it, is because you guys know of my medical condition, my inflammations, my flares, and all that. And here we're all in. And that's part of the program too. Y'all understand where it's coming from,
I love that. And just like as a side note, I just want to clarify so people don't misunderstand. Like, there's never a promise of a medical diagnosis, medical cure or anything like that. But obviously with her condition, we all know that the nutrition side of things, yes, eating and losing the body fat and exercising improves the symptoms. So yes. I just want to make it very clear that there has never been a promise of, I'm going to cure like an autoimmune disease because we're just like God. No, it was like, we can help you on the lifestyle side of things so we can improve your quality of life.
And you're 100% correct. And I would like to express it as well in the sense that because it's sustainable and I can do it consistently, that's what has helped me. My sleep is better. My workout problems aren't something crazy where my body can't do it, or I'm crazy keto that was giving me inflammation and stuff like that. No, I'm eating real food, and it works. It works just like you said, It's like,
look at that.
Imagine that.
And speaking of your medical condition, because that is something that I hear, like many times. And again, we're not medical doctors, but we all know that with autoimmune diseases and a lot of medical conditions and allergies and things like that, the lifestyle piece of the puzzle makes a significant positive or negative, depending how you're living your life, impact. So how have your flare-ups and how has your life from like a lupus perspective has changed since you have changed your lifestyle with the Powerhouse Academy support?
Yeah, definitely. I think the healthy eating, the well-balanced eating is a huge portion of that. It's nutrition. I'm eating better than I ever have, which helps. If a well-balanced diet, my workouts have helped because I'm not doing this extra strenuous, crazy stuff. You all know, well, this is what we have. We're still going to lift weights. You're still going to do cardio. But hey, you could taper down this. Like this month, and my flares, I still get them. They're not as frequent and as severe. Like that's part of life. That's my story. But just the frequency, because everything's it's so consistent and it's stable. It's nothing crazy. It's just you eat well, you exercise for your body that's appropriate for my body, and I think all that has contributed to me feeling better. The nutrition, the exercise, the mental health part of it, where you're trying to figure out you're not carrying all this extra stress. Those three factors is what I believe has helped me lower my flares to the point that they were before.
Oh, wow. And how much have the frequencies changed? Because I think you mentioned before that they would happen, well, like I'm not going to quote because I don't remember exactly. So I'm not going to let you take there.
Yeah. So they would happen monthly, maybe 2 to 3 a month. And either it would last 1 or 2 days where I'm bedridden, or it would last a week because I could still sustain. So that was happening, I could say, definitely monthly, sometimes up to 2 or 3. And now in the last 6 months, I've had like 2 bad ones. But other than that, there's been no in betweens. There's been no in betweens. It's like it hit me, and it was as quickly as it hit me hard, because that's my life. That's my story. I get infusions. Yeah. But to go from 2 to 3 a month to 2 in 6 months, I told my rheumatologist and everything. Like, she's like, okay, what you're doing is working and don't stop. But it's the consistent eating healthy, and working out and doing what's right for my body, because my coaches could work with me.
And just, I love that you mentioned eating healthy, but and it's interesting because whenever we first spoke, you told me, because I have on my notes, oh, I eat very healthy.
Cute, right? No.
But no. And I'm not pointing fingers, because I do think that that's how a lot of women kind of like see it. Oh, I eat healthily, but it's different.
It is different. I think we could eat healthy and eat balanced. And I wasn't eating balanced before. I could have been eating healthy, but knowing what I know now, I was not. Even I will be the first one to no, girl. But now it's balanced and it's healthy. And that's what would throw my body all crazy, because I didn't have a balance. I'm doing keto. It's not a good balance for me, and that's okay. I'm not a failure. So I think that's contributed. It's like, it's the perfect balance of nutrition and working out and figuring out what's going on. Like, it's the balance. This is what Powerhouse Academy does. It's given me balance.
I love that. And what other areas of life, and I don't want to list them out for you, because I want to respect how far you want to go, but what other areas of life do you think that have been positively impacted, since obviously we have your health, but I know that there is a lot more. So do you want to share what other things have changed positively since?
There's been quite a few things. I take pictures. Crazy. I know, right? I take a picture. I went on my first cruise, and I had not worn shorts in the longest amount of time, because I just felt self-conscious, my thighs, my fat's going to hang out of the butt, and all this other stuff. And I went on my cruise. I'm like, I'm going to wear some shorts. And my husband's like, good, finally wear them. It's like, I wore shorts. I go to work now, and I'm not sweating and pouring a gallon of sweat before I go to work, because I'm like, and it's acceptance, right? I've learned how to accept myself at the same time. And I see myself in the mirror. Like, I will stand in front of the mirror and actually see myself now, and not just look at myself. It's like when I'm dressing, I see myself. Okay, this is not putting on like a overshirt and some jeans. Like, I'm going to make more of an effort, because my confidence is there. So yeah, I'm taking pictures, and just like, I'm not as shy to go out anymore. Like, I bought new clothes. I'm like, so I had my fat wardrobe and my extra fat wardrobe in my mind. That's how I labeled it. And now I just got the regular Sandraliz size. Like, this is who I am now.
Which, like, just for the record, which now also is not made up of only black clothes. It's like, we have colors, we have prints. Do you want to share about that?
Yes, I wear white now. I can wear prints and not feel like, what am I wearing? I lost, because of that. I mean, ultimately, I've lost 34 pounds, and I've lost like 15 inches off of my body total. But yeah, I actually wear clothes, and it's like, oh, look at all these cute styles. Like, I could wear them, and I don't have to wear baggy clothes. And I actually look at that stuff. Like, before I used to walk around a store and be like, nothing here fits, I don't want it. Now it's like, I stop and I look. This is a possibility. Spring is a season of color now. Like,
So beautiful. I love this so much. And you mentioned, because I know that your husband has been very supportive of your fitness journey as well, which is amazing. And you mentioned that your husband was excited that you were going to wear shorts. So how do you think that it has impacted, your relationship with your family, with your son, with your husband, like all of that?
Happier overall. I'm not hiding. I'm not in the corner. Like, he's a social butterfly. All day long, he will talk to everybody. I'm just like, okay, can we go? That's just me. But now I stand side by side with him and have that conversation. My son noticed it. Like, I go camping and I do all this extra stuff. And it's just like, now I'm sharing family moments, not just like, you guys go on ahead. I'll be right back. I'll be here. Now it's like, no, I'm front and center with them. I'm holding my husband's hand and not just like, not carrying down. He's always been very proud of me, but I wasn't proud of myself. So now it's like he has a partner. I feel like when he goes out, I'm right there with my boys. I love my boys, and I think I'm more present as a mother.
Oh my God, like legit, like the amount of goosebumps that I'm getting with you, like saying this, and I'm gonna go on a tangent here. Like, coaching is challenging.
Yeah.
Because you work with people in different seasons of their lives. Sometimes, they it makes the journey a bit more challenging. And I think that is any career. I'm pretty sure that, like me, cry me a river on how challenging it can be sometimes. Meanwhile, you're taking dispatch calls for 911, like you're like, okay, you're cute. But anyway, I think that hearing stories like yours and seeing how much your life has changed, it gives me, and like, this is me saying selfishly, and I know that I speak for the whole team, it gives us such a purpose in life. Like, honestly, Sandraliz, like stories like yours and like many of our other members makes the harder times when we have challenging situations, it makes it all worth it. So thank you for making what we do something that gives me a purpose in life. I'm really grateful for that.
I'm so thankful. You all gave me something that I didn't have before, was a safe space to be myself at what I perceived was my worst. So I perceived that I was at my worst, and you guys are like, come, let us open up. And the way you coach makes it easier to understand, accept, and just be open to receiving it.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't even thank you guys enough as a result of that. Like, it's just like, it's like this team and coaches that care. Like, it's wild. It's wild. It really does.
Imagine this concept. And, that's kind of the thing that I'm saying. Like, every time, sometimes I would speak with other people in the coaching space and they're like, oh, just like detach yourself and like, don't take it personally. And I try, but it's hard because we're talking about people, and I want people to succeed because I know I hear stories like yours, and I want every single person that we work with to have stories like yours because I know how life-changing it truly is.
It absolutely is. One of the things I love about you all is your honesty. Like, you guys are, and I could deal with the worst of the worst, but you guys, it's in a loving, honest way, and say, hey, Sandraliz, I think a true friend will tell you when you're not being your best, and could pull you aside and say, hey, this isn't working, or this is what I see. And you all provide that safe space. And that's what I admire about you. You're just like, no, not today. Not today. And not that we ever had any of those moments, but the entire coaching staff is like that. It's just safe and honest.
Yeah. And that's the thing. Like, I'm not portraying myself out there that that I'm not going to call you out on your bullshit. I might be a bit rough around the edges, but it comes from a place of love and love.
It's absolutely, and you could feel it. The way you guys even look at you or look at me, like, it's like you're looking at me at my eyes, you're listening, you're engaged, and I'm a person. I'm not somebody who here's my program, here's my app, and I'm not just like a dollar bill, supplying it. So that's what I love. You guys are just the eye contact, it like that. I'm a huge body language person, and that alone, and the encouraging words out of nowhere. It's like all of a sudden I get like a sweet text. I'm like, oh, that's so sweet.
I love that. So, Sandraliz, last question for you. What, again, there are many women that are in situations right now where you were when we first spoke, trying out the things, going back and almost starting to lose a little bit of hope because they've tried so many of the things. And then it feels like this is just like another quote unquote thing. What would you tell someone who is on the fence or maybe is like, oh, is this, going to spend all this money and then like it's gonna be wasted. What would you tell someone who is thinking this way?
I would say it is time, if you feel like that, to be 100% open and open to receive information and understanding about yourself. I was tired of being where I was at. So if you're skeptical about that, just be accepting that people are there to help you and it's okay. We go through our stages of life and we think we know everything. Like we turn back like we're 16 years old and it's like, oh, I know the world, right? But it's okay at our age to say, or at any age, especially as a mother, as a career woman, to say, I need this for myself. And I need my own squad to help me just to see more and just to try to be open about it. But if you want to talk to a person that cares and is understanding and really pays attention to you, this is it. It absolutely is. Because the interpersonal interaction is much more than a diet and a program. You know, there's so much more to it. And this program has that intangible. You could touch the workout, you could touch, the diet, but this program really does provide the time to take in and to focus on yourself. This is it. This is it. This is all you, and you deserve that. You deserve to be 100% yourself and people to accept you at 100% yourself.
I absolutely love that. Well, Sandraliz, thank you so much for your time. You look beautiful and you guys cannot see her. She's wearing a white top.
Yeah.
Look at that. Look at that. Thank you so, and she looks beautiful, makeup done, hair done. And I'm very grateful, Sandraliz, to have you in our community for your amazing story, for how coachable you've been and open to, to getting the help that you deserve. And now look at you. Live your best life.
I know, it's exciting. Again, it's mad. And you guys know what you're talking about. Shocking. You guys are amazing. You guys are amazing. And thank you for I just have my squad and I can't be thankful enough to have people behind me. And thank you for being the ones. Like, thank you for doing it well.
Thank you.
Well, and balance me out.
Thank you. Have a great day. And I know you got to go to work. So bye-bye. Thank you so much for tuning in this week. But let me ask you, what was your aha moment in today's episode? I would love to know. You can leave me a comment at the link in the show description. You can also follow me on social media, Instagram. Links are down below as well. And let me know what topics you want to hear more about or who I should have on the show. This is it for today, guys. I'll see you back next week for another episode of the Unfiltered Fit Life podcast.